Can't we grow more? Ireland's crop opportunities. In Ireland, we are still overly dependent on foreign imports for dietary requirements and more so to feed our livestock with ingredients that are not grown on the island of Ireland. With food miles, sustainability, diet change, and biodiversity metrics being increasingly scrutinised in the Western world, isn't it time that we took a closer look at our own relationship with crop production? Whilst a hectare of cropland undoubtedly produces much lower greenhouse gas emissions than a hectare of intensive livestock grazing land, the pros and cons of either dietary choice is not that simple. According to latest figures, we as a country have a trade deficit of €1 billion in fruit and veg, which means that a large proportion of that plant-based diet is often imported from regions of the world increasingly suffering from water shortages to produce the crops. So sit down for some incredible stats. Let's take for example that our single biggest fruit import is bananas at 93,000 tonnes, according to latest Teagasc figures. Our climate will have to change dramatically to grow them at home, but our second largest fruit import is apples at 62,000 tonnes, but they grow very well here. Moving on to vegetables, and stand by for an interesting figure, our biggest import is potatoes at 72,000 tonnes, and that's a crop that's known in many parts of the world as the Irish potato. All of the main veg imports, including onions, carrots, tomatoes, cabbage and lettuce, can all be grown very successfully in Ireland. In addition to fruit and veg, we also have a trade deficit of €1.1 billion in cereals and other products for animal feed, the source of which may be questionable from a sustainability perspective. Yes, our beef and dairy products are mainly grass-fed, but other dietary requirements originate outside of Ireland. But to balance this argument, we have to accept that a large proportion of the land in Ireland is unsuitable for cropping, either due to the soil or the weather, and will therefore either remain as grassland or possibly be converted into forestry as a profitable land use, which will also increase carbon sequestration. One only needs to look at our western seaboard to come to that conclusion. So is there a huge scope to maximise our land? It may seem therefore that there is little scope to increase crop production from its current 290,000 hectares. However, a recent analysis of land use by Jessica Zimmerman, Teagasc data technologist, showed that there were over 428,000 hectares in frequent crop production, and another 434,000 hectares that had been in crop production at least once since the year 2000, which is a reflection of the movement of the crop area into and out of temporary grassland. As a country, therefore, we have the potential to significantly increase our production of both horticultural and tillage crops without impinging on our long-term permanent grassland carbon stores. You might be surprised to find out that Ireland is highly productive when it comes to crops, with the highest wheat yields and second highest barley yields in the world. Imagine if Ireland compared in size to tillage leaders such as Ukraine. We would more than likely take the breadbasket crown of the world. But there are reasons for optimism. Well, this is because we have a very mild climate that is rarely too hot or too cold. We are far north, which gives us long summer days, and we have a ready supply of water from our high rainfall. It is the latter factor that is increasingly going to give us a competitive advantage for crop production compared to some of the current global centres of production, which are predicted to suffer more frequent droughts as climate change progresses. There is clearly demand, even currently, just for import replacement. But there is also the possibility of export markets in the future. If we can seize this opportunity, we could see increased production of grain for high-value markets, such as beer and whiskey production, apples for consumption or cider production, a wide range of vegetables, and protein crops to replace soya. We should not forget our other agricultural enterprises, but could we grow more and import less? Well, without disrupting other agri-food businesses, we should strive for vast improvement, and hopefully we will reap the benefits in the not too distant future.